First contact and dismissal. The day the Zarkonian fleet appeared in Earth's orbit started like any other. People went about their daily lives, unaware that humanity was about to face its greatest challenge. High above the blue planet, massive ships materialized, their sleek designs unlike anything humans had ever conceived. World leaders scrambled to convene an emergency United Nations session. As panic spread across the globe, a message from the alien vessels appeared on every screen and device. People of Earth, we come in peace. We are the Zarkonian Confederation, and we wish to speak with your leaders. Dr. Amelia Chen, Earth's foremost xenolinguist, found herself thrust into the spotlight as the UN's chosen representative. With a mix of excitement and trepidation, she prepared to make first contact. The meeting took place in a hastily prepared chamber at the UN headquarters. Amelia stood tall as the Zarkonian delegation entered. Their leader, Ambassador Xorax, towered over the humans, his iridescent skin shimmering under the lights. "Greetings, Ambassador," Amelia said, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "Welcome to Earth." Xorax's multifaceted eyes studied her curiously. "Thank you, Dr. Chen. We have observed your planet for some time and believe you are ready to join the galactic community." Murmurs of excitement rippled through the human delegation. Amelia maintained her composure, sensing there was more to come. However, Xorax continued, his tone shifting. "We must first assess your technological capabilities." With a wave of his hand, a holographic display materialized, showcasing Zarkonian achievements. Cities that floated in the sky, ships that could traverse galaxies in the blink of an eye, and energy sources that seemed to defy the laws of physics. "Impressive," Amelia admitted. "We look forward to learning from you." Xorax's expression changed to one of amusement. "Learning? Oh, my dear Dr. Chen, I'm afraid you misunderstand. We're not here to teach, but to evaluate whether your species is worth preserving." The room fell silent. Amelia's mind raced, trying to comprehend the sudden shift in the conversation. "I can understand," she said carefully. "You said you came in peace, and we have," Xorax replied. "But the galaxy is a harsh place, Dr. Chen. Resources are finite, and only the most advanced civilizations thrive. We must determine if Earth has anything of value to offer." Over the next few days, the Zarkonians conducted their evaluation. They examined human technology, often with thinly veiled disdain. Earth's most advanced computers were dismissed as quaint calculating machines. Nuclear power was deemed a cute attempt at harnessing the atom. Amelia watched in growing frustration as the aliens mocked humanity's proudest achievements. Even space exploration, once the pinnacle of human ingenuity, was reduced to taking baby steps in the cosmic backyard. As the week drew to a close, Xorax called for a final meeting. The atmosphere was tense as he delivered his verdict. "People of Earth," he began, his voice echoing through the chamber, "we have concluded our assessment. While your species shows potential, your technological level is far below the galactic standard. As such, we cannot offer you membership in the Zarkonian Confederation." A collective gasp filled the room. Amelia stepped forward, her voice tight with emotion. "Ambassador Xorax, surely there must be some misunderstanding. We may not have your level of technology, but humanity has much to offer. Our art, our culture, our diversity." Xorax cut her off with a dismissive wave. "Dr. Chen, please. Art and culture are luxuries for advanced civilizations. What we need are resources and innovation. Your planet, however, is rich in rare minerals that are vital to our continued expansion." The implications of his words sank in. Amelia's eyes widened in realization. "You're not here to welcome us. You're here to exploit us." A cold smile spread across Xorax's face. "Exploit is such a harsh word. We prefer to think of it as galactic redistribution. Your planet's resources will serve a greater purpose in our hands." Anger bubbled up inside Amelia, but she forced it down. "And if we refuse?" Smile disappeared. Then we will take what we need by force. Make no mistake, Dr. Chen. Your primitive weapons are no match for our technology. Resistance would only lead to unnecessary suffering. As the Zarkonian delegation left the chamber, Amelia turned to face the shocked human representatives. The weight of the situation pressed down on her shoulders. "We need to prepare," she said, her voice filled with determination. "They may think us primitive, but humanity has faced impossible odds before. We will not go down without a fight." Little did the Zarkonians know, deep beneath the surface of the earth, in hidden facilities around the world, humanity had been preparing for this moment for decades. Project Prometheus, a top-secret initiative born from the combined efforts of the world's greatest minds, was about to change the course of history. As Amelia left the UN building, her phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. "Operation Prometheus is go. Humanity's future is in your hands." She looked up at the sky, where the Zarkonian ships loomed ominously. A fierce determination burned in her eyes. The aliens had severely underestimated humanity's resilience and ingenuity. They were about to learn a costly lesson. The stage was set for a confrontation that would determine the fate of Earth and humanity's place in the galaxy. The Zarkonians thought they held all the cards, but humanity was about to reveal its hidden ace. The secret project revealed. As dawn broke over a world forever changed by the Zarkonian ultimatum, humanity quietly prepared for the fight of its life. In underground bunkers and hidden laboratories across the globe, scientists and engineers worked tirelessly, putting the finishing touches on a project decades in the making. Dr. Amelia Chen found herself whisked away to a secret facility deep within the Rocky Mountains. As she was led through winding corridors, she marveled at the sheer scale of the operation. How had all of this remained hidden for so long? "Dr. Chen," a familiar voice called out. She turned to see Admiral James Harper, a decorated veteran known for his strategic brilliance. "Welcome to Project Prometheus." Amelia's eyes widened as they entered a vast chamber. Before her stood a sight that took her breath away. A massive spacecraft, unlike anything she had ever seen. Its sleek lines and otherworldly design made even the Zarkonian ships look outdated by comparison. "Is that?" she began, unable to finish her sentence. Admiral Harper nodded, a glimmer of pride in his eyes. "Say hello to the HS Prometheus, humanity's best-kept secret and our last hope against the Zarkonian threat." As they approached the ship, Harper explained, "For decades, we've been reverse engineering technology from crashed alien vessels. We've combined that knowledge with human ingenuity to create something truly unique." Amelia marveled at the ship's features as Harper led her on a tour. The Prometheus boasted an eye-driven adaptive shield system, quantum entanglement communications, and a revolutionary propulsion system that could bend space-time itself. "But how?" Amelia asked, her mind reeling from the implications. "The Zarkonians seemed so certain of our technological inferiority." Harper's expression hardened. "That's because we wanted them to think that way. We've been deliberately downplaying our advancements, presenting a facade of technological backwardness to the galaxy at large." As they reached the bridge, Amelia met the ship's crew, a diverse group of the brightest minds and most skilled operators from around the world. Captain Zara Okonko, a brilliant tactician with nerves of steel, would be leading the mission. "Dr. Chen," Zara greeted her warmly. "Your linguistic skills will be crucial for what comes next." Amelia raised an eyebrow. "Next? What exactly is the plan?" Admiral Harper activated a holographic display, showing the positions of the Zarkonian fleet. "We're going to reveal ourselves, but on our terms. The Prometheus will launch in 6 hours. Your job, Dr. Chen, is to open a channel of communication with the Zarkonians once we're in position." As the crew made final preparations, tension filled the air. The fate of humanity rested on their shoulders, and the weight of that responsibility was palpable. Hours later, as the Prometheus prepared for launch, Amelia stood on the bridge, her heart pounding. Captain Okonkwo's voice rang out. All systems go. Initiating launch sequence. The mountain above them split open, revealing a star-filled sky. With a quiet hum that belied its immense power, the Prometheus rose from its hidden berth. As they ascended through the atmosphere, Amelia watched in awe as the curvature of the Earth came into view, followed by the looming shapes of the Zarkonian vessels. "Cloak engaged," announced the tactical officer. "We are invisible to their sensors." Captain Okonkwo nodded. "Take us into position. Dr. Chen, prepare to transmit on my mark." The Prometheus glided silently through space, positioning itself directly above the largest Zarkonian ship. Amelia felt a mix of fear and excitement as she prepared to address the aliens who, just days ago, had dismissed humanity as primitive. "Now, Dr. Chen," Captain Okonkwo commanded. Amelia took a deep breath and began. "Attention Zarkonian fleet. This is Dr. Amelia Chen of Earth. We have an important message for Ambassador Xorax." Seconds ticked by intense silence before a familiar voice responded, tinged with annoyance. "Dr. Chen, this is highly irregular. How are you transmitting on this secure frequency?" A small smile played on Amelia's lips. "Perhaps your assessment of our technological capabilities was premature, Ambassador. We request a face-to-face meeting to renegotiate the terms of our relationship." There was a pause before Xorax replied, his voice laced with skepticism. "And why should we agree to this meeting, Dr. Chen? What could you possibly offer that would change our minds?" At a nod from Captain Okonkwo, Amelia continued, "Because, Ambassador, we are no longer speaking to you from Earth. Look out your primary viewport." With that cue, the Prometheus disengaged its cloaking device. The massive human ship shimmered into existence, dwarfing even the largest Zarkonian vessel. The stunned silence that followed was broken by alarms blaring through the Zarkonian fleet. Ships scrambled into defensive positions, weapons charging. Xorax's voice returned, a mix of anger and disbelief. "What is the meaning of this deception? How dare you?" "Ambassador," Amelia interrupted firmly, "we dare because we must. You came to our world with threats and condescension. Now we're showing you that humanity is not to be underestimated. We are prepared to defend ourselves, but we would prefer a peaceful resolution. The choice is yours." As the Zarkonian fleet faced off against the Prometheus, the galaxy held its breath. The humans had revealed their ace, but the game was far from over. The next move would determine whether this confrontation would end in peace or plunge both species into a war that could reshape the cosmos. Aboard the Prometheus, Amelia exchanged glances with Captain Okonkwo and Admiral Harper. They had succeeded in shocking the Zarkonians, but now came the true test. Could they parlay this surprise into a lasting peace, or had they simply postponed an inevitable conflict? As they waited for the Zarkonian response, one thing was clear. Humanity had proven it was a force to be reckoned with. The galaxy would never look at Earth the same way again. The battle begins. The tense standoff between the HS Prometheus and the Zarkonian fleet stretched on for what felt like an eternity. On the bridge of the human ship, Dr. Amelia Chen stood beside Captain Zara Okonkwo, both women's eyes fixed on the main view screen. Finally, Ambassador Xorax's voice crackled through the comm system. "Your deception changes nothing, humans. You have merely hastened your own destruction. Prepare to be boarded." Captain Okonkwo's eyes narrowed. "Negative, Ambassador. Any attempt to board this vessel will be met with force." As if on cue, a dozen smaller Zarkonian ships detached from their fleet, racing towards the Prometheus. "Battle stations," Okonkwo barked. The bridge erupted into controlled chaos as the crew prepared for the impending conflict. Amelia gripped the nearest console, her heart pounding. This was it, the moment that would decide humanity's fate. "Shields at maximum," the tactical officer reported. "Weapons systems online and ready." The first volley from the Zarkonian ships slammed into the Prometheus's shields. The human vessel shuddered, but held firm. "Return fire," Okonkwo ordered. "Target their propulsion systems. Let's show them what we can do." The Prometheus's advanced targeting system locked onto the approaching ships. Beams of concentrated energy lanced out, striking with pinpoint accuracy. Two Zarkonian vessels immediately lost power, drifting helplessly in space. Aboard the alien flagship, Thorax watched in disbelief as the human ship effortlessly disabled his attack force. "Impossible," he muttered. "Their technology. It's beyond anything we anticipated." Back on the Prometheus, Amelia couldn't help but feel a surge of pride as she watched the human crew work in perfect synergy. The ship's AI assisted in predicting enemy maneuvers, allowing for split-second decisions that kept them one step ahead of the Zarkonians. "Sir," the sensor officer called out, "we're detecting a massive energy buildup in the Zarkonian flagship. They're preparing to fire their main weapon." Captain Okonkwo's face set in grim determination. "Activate the phase shift drive. Let's show them our trump card." Amelia felt a strange tingling sensation as the Prometheus's revolutionary drive engaged. The ship seemed to flicker, becoming translucent for a moment. The Zarkonian flagship fired its weapon, a beam of destructive energy that could vaporize a small moon. But instead of impacting the Prometheus, it passed right through, continuing harmlessly into space. By the cosmic void, Thorax breathed, watching the impossible unfold before his eyes. What are these humans? Taking advantage of the Zarkonian shock, Captain Okonkwo pressed the attack. The Prometheus danced through space, its advanced propulsion system allowing it to outmaneuver the larger alien ships with ease. As the battle raged on, it became clear that the humans were not just holding their own. They were winning. The Zarkonian fleet, for all its supposed superiority, found itself outclassed by the single human vessel. Amelia watched in awe as the Prometheus's weapons systematically disabled the alien ships, careful to avoid unnecessary loss of life. This wasn't about destruction, it was about sending a message. After what seemed like hours but was merely minutes, the Zarkonian fleet was in disarray. Half their ships floated powerless, while the others maintained a defensive formation around their flagship. "Dr. Chen," Captain Okonkwo said, turning to Amelia, "I believe it's time to open negotiations again." Nodding, Amelia stepped forward. "Ambassador Thorax," she began, her voice steady. "As you can see, humanity is more than capable of defending itself. We ask again, will you negotiate in good faith, or must this conflict continue?" There was a long pause before Thorax's reply came through, his voice noticeably subdued. "It seems we have underestimated your species, Dr. Chen. Perhaps it would be wise to discuss terms." A cheer went up from the Prometheus's crew, quickly silenced by a raised hand from Captain Okonkwo. "This isn't over yet," she warned. "Stay alert." As arrangements were made for face-to-face negotiations, Amelia couldn't help but reflect on the incredible turn of events. In the span of a few days, humanity had gone from being dismissed as primitive to forcing one of the galaxy's great powers to the negotiating table. The Prometheus docked with the Zarkonian flagship, and a delegation led by Captain Okonkwo and Dr. Chen prepared to board. As the airlock cycled, Amelia took a deep breath. The battle in space had been won, but the true test was yet to come. Stepping onto the alien ship, Amelia and the human delegation found themselves face to face with Ambassador Thorax and his advisors. The Zarkonians' earlier arrogance was gone, replaced by a wary respect. "Welcome aboard, humans," Thorax said, his voice carefully neutral. "It seems we have much to discuss." As they were led to the conference room, Amelia caught glimpses of the alien crew. Their expressions ranged from curiosity to outright fear. Word of the Prometheus's capabilities had clearly spread quickly. The negotiations that followed were intense. The Zarkonians, while forced to acknowledge humanity's technological prowess, were reluctant to simply abandon their plans for Earth. The humans, for their part, made it clear that they would not tolerate any form of exploitation. Hours passed as proposals and counterproposals were exchanged. Amelia found herself at the center of it all, her linguistic skills and diplomatic experience proving invaluable as she navigated the complex discussions. As the talks stretched into their 10th hour, a breakthrough finally came. The Zarkonians agreed to recognize Earth as a sovereign and technologically advanced world, worthy of respect in the galactic community. In exchange, humanity would share some of its unique technological innovations, under strict conditions and oversight. As the final details were hammered out, Amelia couldn't help but feel a sense of triumph. Humanity had not only survived its first contact with an advanced alien civilization, but had emerged stronger for it. When the negotiations concluded, Ambassador Thorax approached Amelia privately. "Dr. Chen," he said, his tone thoughtful, "I must admit, your species has surprised us. We came expecting to find primitives, and instead, we found equals, perhaps even superiors in some ways." Amelia nodded, choosing her words carefully. "Perhaps this can be a lesson for both our peoples, Ambassador. Appearances can be deceiving, and there is always more to learn about the universe and those who inhabit it." As the human delegation prepared to return to the Prometheus, Amelia took one last look at the Zarkonian ship. This was just the beginning, she realized. Humanity had taken its first true steps onto the galactic stage, and the future, while uncertain, was filled with incredible possibilities. The battle was over, but humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning. Turning the tide. The days following the historic negotiations between humanity and the Zarkonians were filled with a mix of excitement and trepidation. As news of the encounter spread across Earth, people struggled to come to terms with their new reality. Humanity was not alone in the universe, and more importantly, it had proven itself capable of standing toe-to-toe with an advanced alien civilization. Dr. Amelia Chen found herself thrust into the global spotlight, her role in the negotiations making her an overnight celebrity. As she addressed the United Nations General Assembly, she couldn't help but reflect on how much had changed in such a short time. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, her voice echoing through the packed chamber, "we stand at a crossroads. The galaxy has opened up to us, bringing with it incredible opportunities and daunting challenges. Our encounter with the Zarkonians has shown us that we are capable of great things, but it has also revealed that there are forces in the universe that would seek to exploit or dominate us." As Amelia spoke, screens around the chamber displayed images of the Prometheus and the Zarkonian fleet. The assembly listened in rapt attention as she recounted the events that had unfolded in space. "We have earned the respect of the Zarkonians," she continued, "but we must remain vigilant. Our victory has undoubtedly caught the attention of other spacefaring civilizations. Some may seek alliance, others may view us as a threat. We must be prepared for both." In the weeks that followed, Earth underwent a rapid transformation. The existence of Project Prometheus was made public, leading to a global effort to expand humanity's space capabilities. Nations that had once been rivals now worked together, pooling resources and knowledge to build a fleet that could defend Earth and explore the stars. Meanwhile, the Prometheus itself became a symbol of human ingenuity and determination. Captain Zara Okonkwo and her crew embarked on a series of diplomatic missions, making first contact with other alien civilizations and establishing Earth's presence on the galactic stage. But not all was peaceful. Word of humanity's triumph over the Zarkonians had indeed spread, and not everyone was pleased with the emergence of a new power in the galaxy. 3 months after the Zarkonian encounter, alarms blared across Earth's newly established defense network. A massive fleet of unknown origin had appeared at the edge of the solar system, their intentions clearly hostile. As the unknown armada approached, Earth's fledgling space fleet scrambled to defend their homeworld. The Prometheus, having just returned from a diplomatic mission, took the lead in organizing Earth's defenses. On the bridge of the Prometheus, Amelia stood beside Captain Okonkwo, her role now officially that of Earth's chief xenodiplomat. "Any response to our hails?" she asked, tension evident in her voice. Okonkwo shook her head. "Nothing. They're maintaining radio silence." As the enemy fleet drew closer, its size became apparent. There were hundreds of ships, dwarfing even the Zarkonian force they had faced before. "All ships, battle formations," Okonkwo ordered. "Remember your training. We've faced impossible odds before, and we've prevailed. We'll do so again." The battle that ensued was unlike anything Earth had ever experienced. The sky above the planet lit up with energy weapons and explosions, visible even from the ground. Earth's fleet, though outnumbered, fought with a tenacity that surprised their attackers. The Prometheus led the charge, its advanced technology allowing it to punch well above its weight. But even with its capabilities, the sheer number of enemy ships was overwhelming. As the battle raged on, it became clear that conventional tactics wouldn't be enough. That's when Amelia had an idea. "Captain," she said, her eyes lighting up with inspiration, "what if we could turn their numbers against them?" Okonkwo raised an eyebrow. "What do you have in mind, Doctor?" Amelia quickly outlined her plan. It was risky, bordering on insane, but it just might work. With the captain's approval, Amelia reached out to an unlikely ally, the Zarkonians. In a hasty communication, she explained the situation and requested their assistance. To everyone's surprise, the Zarkonians agreed. Within hours, a Zarkonian battle group arrived, catching the enemy fleet off guard. Implementing Amelia's plan, the combined human and Zarkonian forces used a series of complex maneuvers to herd the enemy fleet into a tight formation. Then, using a modified version of the Prometheus's phase shift technology, they created a massive energy field around the enemy ships. The field didn't destroy the ships, but it did something arguably worse. It fused them together into a single, immobile mass. In one fell swoop, the threat was neutralized. As the dust settled, the true scale of what had transpired became clear. Humanity, with the help of their former adversaries, had defeated a force that by all rights should have annihilated them. In the aftermath, investigators discovered that the attacking fleet had been sent by a coalition of alien races who feared the rapid rise of humanity as a galactic power. They had hoped to nip this potential threat in the bud. Instead, they had only succeeded in cementing humanity's reputation as a force to be reckoned with. The victory marked a turning point for Earth. No longer were humans seen as newcomers to the galactic stage. They were now recognized as a major player, capable of defending themselves and their allies against any threat. As Amelia stood on the Prometheus's observation deck, watching the cleanup operations, she felt a mixture of pride and humility. Humanity had come so far in such a short time, but the galaxy was vast, and there was still so much to learn. Captain Okonkwo joined her, a rare smile on her face. "You know, Dr. Chen, when I first signed up for this mission, I never imagined we'd end up saving the world from alien invasions." Amelia chuckled. "I don't think any of us did, Captain. But here we are." As they stood there, watching Earth rotate slowly beneath them, both women knew that this was just the beginning. The galaxy was full of wonders and dangers, and humanity was now ready to face them all. The tide had turned, and the future, while uncertain, looked brighter than ever. Aftermath and new galactic order. 5 years had passed since humanity's decisive victory against the alien coalition that sought to destroy Earth. In that time, the face of human civilization had changed dramatically. Cities on Earth now sported gleaming towers of alien alloys, while orbital habitats circled the planet like a string of pearls. Mars hosted its first permanent colony, and probes bearing the UN flag ventured into the farthest reaches of the solar system. Dr. Amelia Chen stood at the podium of the newly constructed Galactic Council chamber, located on a sprawling space station at the L5 point between Earth and the Moon. Representatives from a dozen alien races filled the auditorium, Their diverse forms a testament to the variety of life in the universe. Distinguished delegates, Amelia began, her voice carrying the weight of humanity's journey. 5 years ago, Earth was an isolated world, unaware of the vast galactic community that surrounded us. Today, we stand as equals among the stars, ready to take our place in shaping the future of our shared cosmos. The chamber buzzed with a mixture of approval and apprehension. Earth's meteoric rise from obscurity to galactic power had sent shockwaves through established interstellar politics. "We have not forgotten the lessons of our first encounters," Amelia continued. "We learned that appearances can be deceiving, that innovation can overcome overwhelming odds, and most importantly, that cooperation is the key to survival and progress in this vast universe." As she spoke, holographic displays showed scenes from the past 5 years. The joint human-Zarkonian scientific missions, the establishment of Earth's first extrasolar colony, and the historic peace summit that ended centuries of conflict between two warring alien civilizations, with humanity as the mediator. "Today, we propose a new framework for galactic cooperation," Amelia announced. "The Terran Accords, as we call them, aim to create a more equitable and peaceful galaxy. These accords emphasize mutual respect, scientific collaboration, and a united front against common threats." The proposal was bold. It called for the sharing of certain technologies to elevate less advanced civilizations, established rules of engagement for first contact scenarios, and created a collective defense pact. Most radically, it proposed a galactic exchange program, allowing citizens from different worlds to live and work on each other's planets. As Amelia outlined the details, she could see the mix of emotions on the faces, and other sensory organs, of the assembled delegates. Some were clearly enthusiastic, others skeptical, and a few seemed outright opposed. When she finished her presentation, the chamber erupted into discussion. Delegates conferred with their advisors, arguments broke out between longtime rivals, and alliances shifted before her eyes. In the midst of the chaos, a familiar figure approached the podium. Ambassador Xorax, now the Zarkonian representative to Earth, raised his hand for silence. "Esteemed colleagues," he began, his voice carrying the gravitas of one who had seen the folly of underestimating others. 5 years ago, my people came to Earth with the intention of exploitation. We thought humans primitive, unworthy of our consideration. We were wrong." A hush fell over the chamber as Xorax continued. "In the time since, I have witnessed firsthand the incredible potential of humanity. Their adaptability, their creativity, their indomitable spirit. These are qualities that we would all do well to emulate. The Terran Accords may seem radical to some, but I believe they represent our best hope for a prosperous and peaceful galaxy." Xorax's endorsement sent a ripple through the assembly. Old enmities were set aside as more and more delegates voiced their support for the Accords. As the session concluded, Amelia felt a sense of cautious optimism. There was still much work to be done, details to be ironed out, and opposition to be overcome. But for the first time, she truly believed that a united, peaceful galaxy was within reach. Later, as she stood in the station's observation dome, watching the blue marble of Earth rotate slowly below, Amelia was joined by Captain, now Admiral, Zara Okonkwo. "Quite a view, isn't it?" Zara said, her voice soft with wonder. Amelia nodded. "Sometimes I still can't believe how far we've come." "And to think," Zara chuckled, "it all started because some aliens thought we were too primitive to bother with." They shared a laugh, remembering the tension and fear of those first encounters, now tempered by years of progress and understanding. "What's next for the famous Dr. Chen?" Zara asked, a twinkle in her eye. "I hear the Andromeda Galaxy is nice this time of year." Amelia smiled, her gaze fixed on the stars beyond. "One step at a time, Admiral. We've made incredible progress, but we're just getting started. There's a whole universe out there, waiting to be explored." As they stood there, contemplating the vastness of space and the bright future that lay ahead, A message came through on Amelia's communicator. The Galactic Council had voted. The Terran Accords had been ratified. A new era of galactic cooperation was dawning, with humanity at its heart. The species that had once been dismissed as primitive now stood as a beacon of hope and progress for all. From the brink of exploitation to the architects of a new galactic order, humanity had proven that the greatest power in the universe was not advanced technology or military might, but the indomitable spirit of those who refused to be underestimated. As news of the Accords' ratification spread across Earth and beyond, celebrations erupted on 1,000 worlds. The galaxy looked to the future with hope, united in the face of the unknown. And somewhere out there, in the vast expanse of space, new adventures, challenges, and wonders awaited, a testament to the eternal truth that had brought humanity this far. Never underestimate the power of those who dare to dream.